If you own 3 restaurants, 5 clinics, or 10 retail stores, there's a decent chance you're paying 3, 5, or 10 separate electricity rates right now, and most of them are bad. Not slightly bad. Sometimes 40 to 60% higher than what a single bundled contract could get you. Here's the number that matters. A broker who bundles just 5 mid-sized commercial locations into one supplier contract can realistically generate between $3,000 and $12,000 a year in recurring commission without ever touching a client's actual electricity. No equipment. No inventory. No storefront. So is this actually a real business, or another consultant buzzword? Let's break it down honestly, with real numbers, not hype. This business is for people who don't mind cold outreach, who can read a spreadsheet without getting bored, and who want a service business with almost zero physical overhead. It's not for someone who wants fast money. Commissions build over months, not days. If you need income in week 2, this isn't it. If you can operate lean for 3 to 6 months while your client base grows, it's one of the more realistic low-cost service businesses available right now. Here's what this actually is, in plain terms. In about 18 US states plus Washington, D.C., Texas, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, New Jersey, New York, and others, electricity is deregulated. That means the wires and poles are still run by the local utility, but businesses can shop around for who actually supplies the power, the way you'd shop for a phone plan. If a business has multiple locations, each one is usually on its own separate contract, signed at different times, at different rates, often expiring on different dates. That's expensive and messy. Your job as a broker is to combine, bundle, all those locations into one aggregated contract with a single supplier at a lower blended rate, with matched end dates so the client never gets stuck renewing 5 times a year. You get paid by the supplier, built into the rate, as a small per kilowatt-hour commission. The client typically pays nothing extra out of pocket. Now let's talk demand, because this is where people get surprised. The commercial and industrial deregulated market in the US covers over 3.8 million businesses that have already switched suppliers at least once. In Texas alone, the deregulated market is the largest in the country, with over 100 retail providers competing for business. In Ohio, commercial participation in retail choice has grown from under half in 2015 to around 50% of the market today. That's a lot of businesses still not optimized, still overpaying, still on mismatched contracts. And multi-location businesses, franchise owners, clinic chains, small retail groups, are the most underserved segment, because most brokers focus on single big industrial accounts, not 5 to 20 location small chains. That gap is where you enter. Let's talk startup cost, because this is the part that makes this business attractive to a low-budget entrepreneur. You do not need equipment. You do not need inventory. You do not need a retail space. Here's a realistic minimum breakdown. Business registration and any state broker licensing fees, where required, roughly $200 to $800, since licensing requirements vary by state and some states don't require a specific broker license at all. A basic website to look credible, $300 to $700 if built simply. A CRM or lead tracking system to manage client contracts and renewal dates. This is not optional once you pass 5 clients, because missed renewal windows literally cost you commission. Budget $50 to $200 a month depending on the tool. Marketing and outreach tools, LinkedIn outreach, cold email software, maybe a phone dialer, $200 to $500 to start. And miscellaneous costs, business cards, a basic contract template reviewed by a lawyer once, around $300. Total minimum investment to get this running realistically sits between $1,000 and $2,500. That is dramatically lower than almost any physical business. Where does that money actually go? The licensing fee protects you legally and lets you operate in your target states. The website exists purely for credibility. When a business owner Googles you before signing a contract, an empty search result kills trust. The CRM is your entire operational backbone, because your income depends on tracking contract expiration dates across dozens of accounts, and missing one renewal can cost you thousands in lost commission. The outreach tools are your actual sales engine, since this business lives or dies on how many decision makers you can get in front of. Monthly operating costs stay light. CRM subscription, $50 to $200. Outreach and email tools, $100 to $300. Any continuing licensing fees, which vary. Realistically, most operators run this for $200 to $600 a month once it's live. Now, income potential, and I want to be precise here, not optimistic. Industry data shows broker commissions typically range from 1 to 5 mils, meaning 0.1 cent to 0.5 cents per kilowatt hour, depending on account size and contract length. A conservative estimate, 5 small to mid locations bundled, each using around 100,000 kilowatt-hours a year at a 2 mil commission. That's roughly $200 per location per year, so $1,000 total, split monthly. Not exciting alone. A realistic estimate, 15 to 20 bundled locations across a few client relationships, averaging 3 mils, you're looking at $6,000 to $10,000 a year in recurring commission, and that recurs every year the contract stays active. An optimistic estimate, landing 2 or 3 larger multi-location chains, 20-plus locations combined, at higher mill rates due to volume, $15,000 to $30,000 a year is realistic for an established broker with a real referral pipeline. Profit margins in this business run extremely high, often 25 to 45% net, because there's almost no cost of goods sold. Your main expense is your own time and outreach tools. Break-even is fast compared to most businesses. If your total startup cost is around $1,500, and you land even 3 to 4 small multi-location clients in your first 90 days, you can realistically break even within 3 to 5 months. The catch, and this is real, commissions here are recurring but not instant. You often wait 30 to 60 days after contract signing for the first commission payout, so plan your cash flow around that lag. The biggest mistakes people make in this business, chasing single-location clients instead of multi-location ones, which wastes the same sales effort for a fraction of the commission. Not disclosing your commission structure clearly, which destroys trust and referrals fast. Ignoring contract renewal tracking, which quietly kills recurring income. And trying to operate in every deregulated state at once instead of mastering 1 or 2 markets first. The real opportunity here is specialization. Most brokers chase big industrial accounts. Almost nobody actively markets to small multi-location businesses, 5-location restaurant groups, regional clinic chains, multi-branch retail stores. That's underserved. Your differentiation is simple. Position yourself as the electricity guy for multi-location businesses, not a generic energy broker. Here's how you actually start. Step 1. Pick 1 or 2 deregulated states to specialize in, ideally where you have local knowledge or contacts. Texas and Ohio are strong starting points. Step 2. Get any required state registration or licensing sorted. Step 3. Build simple, credible online presence, website, LinkedIn profile, one-pager. Step 4. Build relationships with 2 or 3 retail electricity suppliers so you have real rate access. Step 5. Start outreach specifically targeting multi-location business owners, franchise groups, regional chains, property managers. Step 6. Close your first bundled contract, track it properly, and use it as a case study for the next one. On tools, this is one of the few businesses where a website and CRM genuinely matter, not for vanity, but because your entire income depends on contract dates, client renewals, and commission tracking across multiple accounts at once. A missed renewal date is lost money, permanently. If you want this built properly instead of duct taped together in spreadsheets, SoftAngles builds websites, CRMs, and client tracking systems specifically for service businesses like this. You can book a free consultation and estimate, link is in the description. For marketing, online methods work well here. LinkedIn outreach to business owners and operations managers, a simple case study-driven website, and cold email sequences targeting franchise associations. Offline, local Chamber of Commerce events and franchise expos are underrated for this niche. On a low budget, focus entirely on LinkedIn and direct outreach before spending on ads. To scale, build referral relationships with commercial real estate agents and franchise consultants who already talk to multi-location owners. The risks are real too. Supplier relationships can end if you don't hit volume targets. Commission structures aren't standardized, so you need to read every supplier agreement carefully. And regulatory rules differ by state, so expanding too fast without understanding local requirements can create compliance headaches. Do this. Be transparent about your commission with every client. Track every renewal date obsessively. Specialize before you expand. Don't do this. Don't oversell savings you can't guarantee. Don't operate in a state without checking licensing rules first, and don't neglect your CRM once you pass 5 active accounts. So, final verdict, is this worth starting? If you're comfortable with outreach, patient with a recurring revenue model, and want a genuinely low overhead business, yes, this is a realistic option with real income potential. If you need immediate cash flow or hate sales conversations, this isn't the right fit for you. Start it if you can commit 3 to 6 months before expecting real income. Avoid it if you're looking for something passive from day one. This is relationship-driven work. If this breakdown helped you see the real numbers behind this business, subscribe for more realistic startup breakdowns. No hype, just data. And if you're ready to actually build the website or CRM system this business depends on, SoftAngles offers a free consultation to map that out for you. Links in the description.